Okay, my name's John Mosiunas. I'm with LDL TV, and I'm here today with Kenny Roberts. He is the founder of Southern Gourmet Spice Company, the makers of Kenny Bear's Old Florida Barbecue Rub and Seasoning. And today, he's going to give you an incredible demonstration of the Masterbuilt Pro Electric Smoker. 1500 watt. Didn't have a model number on it, so we're just telling you so you know it's the 1500 watt version, but it's right there. And Kenny, go ahead and tell us how you picked this thing out, and you know, what made you attracted to this device for smoking food?
Well, you know, there's different types. You got your gas smokers, you got your charcoal smokers, and you got your electric smokers. I personally went with the electric smoker because then I don't have to burn any extra fossil fuels. I don't have to go, oh man, I ran out of charcoal. All I got to do is plug it into the wall, make sure I got the chips, and set it and forget it, and just let it do its job.
You've got to be like one of the first green barbecuers
out there.
Yeah,
I'm the green barbecuer.
Well, it is. Okay, so give us a little insight. Okay, just tell us first, what are we going to be smoking today, and how are you going to prepare it?
We have got a pork tenderloin that we have marinated overnight that I injected with Don Q Puerto Rican rum. You know, you get the flavor from that burnt barrel, so it's going to be nice and smoky, and just add to the smoky flavor of it.
Yeah.
And then I rubbed it down with our Kenny Bear's barbecued rub and seasoning.
Yeah, right here, man.
Available at southerngourmet.com.
Southern Gourmet Spice.
Oh, southerngourmetspice.com.
Spice.com. Yeah, just click on the Buy Here Now button. You can get you know, it's a bargain for this stuff. Once you start using it, you'll see it's the spice that replaces all others.
It's not just for barbecue. You can literally use it on anything.
I've used it more than you guys
This guy
have.
uses it on ice cream.
Well, here's the thing, though, is you'll find that it's not just a barbecue rub. That's initially what it was designed for, correct? Tell us about your how you came to this formula.
Well, I was in Oklahoma for my son's graduation, his high school graduation, and his stepfather had made some pork butts that he had developed a rub, and I was like, man, I gotta have this. You know, I do a lot of grilling, but I was never really into smoking meats or anything like that. But I was like, I could do this, and I can make my own. And it took me 3 years to get it exactly where I wanted it. But now that I got it where I wanted it, I've already got it in a restaurant chain in South Florida called Flanagan's. Boom, right there.
Right there.
It's Flanagan's Seafood Bar and Grill.
It's also, for any of you that don't know, that's it's locally owned in South Florida, and this is the kind of place that you never go in there and it's not packed with people.
It's been there since the 50s, 1950s.
Food is fantastic, the drinks are fantastic, the service is great, and the menu is good, and it's even better now because it's some of the items have this on it.
Oh yeah, they do use our products there. It's also available at Downtown Pool and Barbecue in Fort Lauderdale, and in Oakland Park at Smitty's Butcher Shop. And if you're in the north end of Florida, at the Stephen Foster Folk Center, it's a state park. It's in their gift shop, and at the Adams General Store, also in White Springs, Florida.
And as usual, you can get it at southerngourmetspice.com. Just click on the Buy Here, and you can see they got a couple of different sizes here. What are the different sizes you have in this?
We have a 4-ounce bottle. This is the 10-ounce bottle, and we have the 24-ounce bottle.
That's for guys like me.
That's for guys like him and me that use a lot.
I do a lot more stuff than just barbecue rub with it. As you can see, well, you can't see, but my worn-out $80 grill over there, I use it quite a bit. But and you can look at some of our other videos. But I invented the Bear Flare.
The Bear Flare.
Where you dump it on.
That's how you get your caramelization.
Yeah, you get the caramelization on. It's pretty cool. We're not going to be doing that today. We're going to be doing something wholly different.
Low and slow.
We're going to do something a little bit more what this was really intended for.
Low and slow.
Is the smoker. So tell us some more about the smoking process and how that goes down.
Well, it's not as hard as people might think it is, especially with this this model here. It's pretty much set it and forget it. You just got to get your temperature right, learn your temperature where it's got to be on there. I use it at 225 degrees. That seems to give me a good, perfect smoke on a piece of meat like that, around 2 pounds, for about 3.5 hours I cook it for. And it's just a great way to get flavor in the meat and to impress your friends.
Okay, so I'm going to just walk over here and grab this right now. Why don't you give me a description of what's going on right here? This is on top of the...
This is our applewood chips that we've been soaking for about an hour now.
Okay, what are they soaking in?
They're soaking just in water.
Just in water?
Just in water, just to moisten them up. We have a smoke box that goes inside the smoker that we're going to put in here.
Let me grab that. Is that this right here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I already feel the smoker's kind of warm.
Yeah, because it's been sitting on top of the smoker. But this is the smoke box.
Okay, so the smoke box, literally, you're going to take the chips.
Just going to take them
and drop them in there.
It's about 1.5 cups of chips.
Don't need a lot, right? Because
and this will last you for 4 hours.
We were talking about before that, you know, I think I'm no professional smoker by any means, but that device I bought over there for about $90 at Home Depot, you can smoke with it, but for those of us amateurs like me, you kind of get this idea that you have to throw a ton of chips on there and get this big billowing smoke and all that stuff. And the reality is, as we were talking about, is you really don't need that.
No.
You just need a small amount.
Exactly.
Because it's not the quantity, it's the quality.
It's the quality. And it's locked in. I won't say it's airtight, but hardly any smoke comes out of this thing.
Right.
And it gives such a great smoky flavor.
Yeah.
Like you did it with big billowing smoke.
They recommend that you don't use it indoors. You probably can't use it indoors, but you can use it on a
back porch, screened-in porch, carport.
Which means for those of you that are in a condo where you have the screened-in porch, I don't think the condo association probably has a problem with it because it's just like any other electric device.
You're not going to use it for smoking to a temperature where it would make anything actually combust outside.
Yeah, and you don't even really see smoke coming out of it.
No, the heat pretty much stays inside. It gets a little warm, but you can, you know.
When you bake stuff in your oven, cakes, cookies, bread, stuff like that, you're in the 300. Broiling, you're in the 500. But what's the temperature of this thing?
225 degrees is what I do it at. Anywhere from 210 to 250 for smoking.
Okay. And how long for piece of meat are we talking about here?
Well, like for this pork loin that I got here, it's about 2 pounds. You're talking about.
Let me get that meat here, Tanya, if you could. Thank you.
You're talking about 3.5, 4 hours.
Okay.
On that.
So this is a.
To give you a nice juicy piece of meat.
Where'd you get this loin from? Is this
local grocery store?
Local grocery store. Okay, so and it's a regular pork loin.
Pork tenderloin.
Pork tenderloin, and it is about what's that? About
2.5 pounds.
2.5 pounds. Okay, so 2.5 pounds, and I'm going to just unwrap it because we got a little sniff of this before.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what has it been marinating in?
It's been marinating. I injected it with Don Q Puerto Rican rum. And then I rubbed it. It's double wrapped, so it's going to give you a little difficulty.
It's awesome.
And we've and then we put our Kenny Bears barbecue rub seasoning on there.
Okay, so
and let it sit overnight.
Did you just did you inject it first?
Yes.
Okay, and then you coated it with the Kenny Bears?
Yes.
Okay, so you injected it first with a regular injection here. I'm going to just show you this. Hang on, right here. Okay, so and this is the Don Q rum. So here is the injection, and so you just kind of take it in from end to end like that.
Just stick it in different spots.
Different spots. With how much rum? Like a couple of shots of rum?
There's probably about 2 shots of rum in there.
Okay, 2 shots of rum in there. And then coat it with Kenny Bears, and then you re-wrapped it?
Yep.
Okay.
And left it 24 hours.
And left it for 24 hours. So, trust us when I tell you, this smells good enough to eat right now. It's a really good smell of rum, and it's a mixture of the Kenny Bears. Before it's been cooked, it's fantastic. So 2.5 pounds. Now, so how long are we going to smoke the 2.5 pounds for?
It's going to be about 3.5, 4 hours. We're going to check the temperature after 3.5 hours and see where we need to go from there. Depending on the thickness of the meat, it could take longer. Longer, skinnier tenderloin might take 2 hours.
Okay. Is there one particular spot in the smoker that this is going to go?
I usually put this not on the closest rack to the bottom, but the next rack up.
Kind of in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Okay.
Because it gives it a good smoke wrap. The smoke wraps all the way around the meat, and you just get a ton of flavor without cooking it too fast.
So when we come back, we're going to get back set up here so that we can show you putting it in. I'm going to grab a little thermometer and from our ghost hunting adventures, and the thermometer is a portable thermometer,
we do it all.
So we can just press the button and get the temperature of where it is, and then we'll take an hour or so in, we'll take a thermal of it just to give you an idea of how much heat is on the outside and where it is on the inside. Now, when it's smoking in there, is the recommendation that you keep it closed the entire time?
You want to open it as little as possible for a few reasons. You want all that smoke to stay in there. You want the heat to stay in. You don't want the element having to heat too much. Also, you don't want the chips to flare up.
Oh, okay. So if you open it up, they're going to get a little oxygen.
They'll flame, and then they won't smolder as they're supposed to.
Well, they're in water right now. So how long before they dry out and get to the point where they might start to smolder?
I don't know, because I usually leave it closed for 3.5 hours.
Well, so
actually, when I first used it, I checked it, and they actually start smoldering after about 15 minutes. You'll start seeing a little bit of smoke come up.
Yeah.
Because this box sits right on the element.
Oh, it does.
On the heating element, so it gets the bottom of this hot enough to burn on the inside.
When you see, I hate to use this analogy, but when you see a forest fire somewhere and the guys come in and they put it on, or it rains, and it's flaming until somebody puts the water on it, and then you see the smoke.
The smoke.
That's the same theory, is that it cannot combust so it just begins to smoke. It's
Right.
halfway combusting,
Right.
and the smoke is what pulls all of the oils out of it. Now this is applewood.
This is
Okay?
applewood,
Okay,
yep.
so this is applewood, which
Great for
actually
pork
has
and vegetables.
it actually has kind of a apple smell scent to it.
Yep.
Because I presume that it's the oil in here that's smoking, because
Yep.
it's not completely burning. So
Yep.
that's what we're trying to get, is we're trying to get the oil to kind of vaporize and turn into smoke and then penetrate
Right.
this, which is pretty easy to do. Like we were talking about, when you get in somebody's car and they smoke, and somebody smokes a cigarette for a minute, you can smell it all over them for a minute.
Right.
So imagine if you were in a closed 200-degree thing and somebody was smoking gently. It doesn't take a lot to penetrate the meat. Now, the longer it's in there, the deeper it penetrates into the meat.
Right.
Are we assuming that it penetrates all the way through to the core after the 3 hours?
I'm not sure if the smoke so much. You get a smoke ring that's about a 1/4 inch thick, which is typical when you're smoking.
So you get an actual ring that you can see.
Right. It's like a pink ring on the outside of the meat when you slice it open. We'll show that later on.
Okay.
And you'll see that. But the flavor of the smoke, I would say, pretty much gets most of the way through the meat. It's pretty juicy in the middle, and everything kind of drains down in there. So.
Okay, so just keep in mind you can
Guess my answer is yes.
Kenny Bear's Old Florida barbecue rub and seasoning. It's the magic spice. I got almost nothing else in there. Well, nothing else that I use. I got a bunch of spices sitting in there with mold growing on them. But this is the spice. This is where it shines the most.
Yes.
But I use it on meats, anything on the grill for sure. I use it on salads. I put it on pizza. I put it on ice cream before. Yeah, you believe it or not?
He did that.
The sweet flavor comes out, and the cinnamon or whatever special ingredients he's got in here come out on vanilla ice cream. Try it. Just put a teaspoon on and try it. We've used it in all kinds of stuff. I'm thinking soups.
We did an acorn squash.
Acorn squash.
We did acorn squash with it.
It's got a whole variety of flavors in it that go in different directions. There's a little bit of hotness to it, but it's not like any kind of...
It's not overwhelming
paper.
heat.
No, not overwhelming. It's also got a sweetness to it that when you put it on anything in the barbecue, I've gotten it down to a science, the caramelizing. You got to flip it and dump it, and you got to use a lot of it.
Oh, yeah.
You
You do
can't
have
be
to use
cheap
a
with
lot.
it, because
No.
when you want it caramelized on the grill, you got to pour
Flavor
it on,
ain't cheap.
and then the bear flare where you just dump it on, and it flames up, and it flames up just for a second, and then it begins to caramelize. You got to flip the meat. I got a video on there. Check it out on the LDL TV Now page, where we're doing the bear flare equipment.
All of our products are also MSG free.
MSG free for sure. For those of you that get headaches like me when it's MSG, forget it. It's all natural as far as I'm concerned. Pretty
Yep,
good stuff.
all natural.
Yeah. And the bottle, if you use it regularly, I'm going through one of these easily a week without a problem. All right, well, we're going to check out the grill here. We're going to get the cameras reset, and we're going to do a play-by-play on setting this thing in the grill, and then talk a little bit more about the whole process.
Right.
Okay, you on? Okay, man. We are, 2-3 hours later now?
Yep, 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours later, and what are we going to do now, Kenny?
We're going to open it up and check the temperature. Actually, we're closer to 3 hours. We're going to open it up, check the temperature, and see where we're at.
Yeah, let's get a shot of that.
If we need to go any longer.
Let's see what's going on. Also, I got a thermal camera right here that I'm checking the temperature with this so we can get a good profile. We're going to insert that so you can see the temperature right now. Right in the center there is 212 degrees where Kenny's roast is, and it's about 174 on the top, and in the bottom it's a little hotter.
165 is what we need for the...
Yeah, on the bottom
the
it's
heat.
showing 320 degrees right on the coils there, but right in the middle, what was your ideal temperature, Kenny?
225.
225. Okay, so it's the thermal camera. If you're gonna look here, Tanya, point it right there, and you can kind of see. But so how much more we got to go?
About a half an hour, 40 minutes.
Half an hour to 40 minutes. Are we putting the asparagus in right now, or are you waiting?
Asparagus, I'm getting ready to put that in right now.
Well, let's put it in, man. Let's. So we got. Let's take a look at this. Is it? What are you gonna put it in? Just by itself, or on a?
I'm just going to put it right on the top rack.
Right on the top rack. Okay. So what's going on with the asparagus here? What do we got?
I got it with olive oil and another product that we'll have out on the market soon. It's called Swamp Sand. It's an all-purpose seasoning.
Okay, that's going to be another Kenny Bear spice,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay. So we're going to put these. Okay. So the swamp. What'd you call it? Swamp sand.
Swamp Sand.
Swamp
No,
sand.
we won't use that one.
We'll take that and put that aside. I'll eat that though. I'll wash that up. It's just sand. But so it was just sprinkled with swamp sand and not for any amount of time, right? You just,
No, we just put it in.
what else is on there? You
20
got
minutes.
oil or?
Olive oil.
Olive oil. Okay, so a little olive oil that will give it, that will keep it moist. And the asparagus will get that smoke flavor in it also. Oh, let me get this out of here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so we're gonna lock it back up now. How much more time we got?
40 minutes.
40 minutes,
Half hour,
okay.
40 minutes.
So, okay, so we're like 45 minutes later, and we've finished the asparagus, right?
Yep.
At 200, what would we put the temperature at?
225.
225. And now we're gonna pull out the pork because I think we're done, right?
Yeah, 165.
165. It's excellent. Take a look at that. Let's take a look right there. What's it look like inside?
It's already cooked down.
It's kind of hot. So it's 160, something like that. There's our smoked pork right there. And we've got a couple hound dogs around here checking it out. Let's check that out. Okay, tell us what we're looking at here, Kenny.
We're looking at a finely smoked piece of pork loin there, rubbed down with the Kenny Bears and marinated and injected with Don Q Puerto Rican rum.
Which I'm going to have a sip of before we eat this baby up.
There you go.
So what are we going to do? We're going to slice this.
We're just going to slice it. And
Okay,
we got asparagus.
vertically like this. Okay, so we got asparagus
And au gratin potatoes.
au gratin potatoes, and I got a bottle of white wine. But what would you recommend with this, with the pork?
Any white wine's good because white wine.
Pinot Grigio.
Sure, I'm not a
anything
real
that's-
big wine drinker. Beer.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying like wine if you want to recommend it with Kenny Bears. Kenny Bears, the flavor of it, I found, I'm not a huge red wine drinker, but a red, a glass or two of Merlot before with the dark meat, with the
beef.
Yeah, with the beef is excellent because it matches with the flavor of the red spices that are in the Kenny Bears. The Pinot Grigio, some of the Pinot Grigios like you drink, Tanya, which is
Chardonnay.
the what do you call it? Barefoot. Barefoot's very fruity and stuff, so you've got kind of the light.
Yellowtail. Yellowtail.
Oh, Yellowtail, you're right. Yellowtail's another fruity one. So that'll be good with this. So we're going to go inside and have an eat at this, and we're going to turn some lights on in there a little bit so we can see everybody enjoying this. But this was, what's our total time here?
That actually took about 4 hours and 15 minutes.
4 hours
It's
and 15
a little shorter,
minutes.
fatter loin, so it took a little more time to get the middle done.
Now, where do we get the spice at?
You can get it at southerngourmetspice.com, or locally in South Florida, you can get it at Downtown Pool and Spa, or Pool and Barbecue in downtown Fort Lauderdale, or in Oakland Park at Smitty's Old Butcher Shop.
Yeah, what was it, Stephen Foster?
That's in North Florida. It'll be the Stephen Foster State Folk Center.
Yeah.
At the gift shop.
That's
or
up in, where in?
That's in White Springs,
White
Florida.
Springs, Florida.
And also in White Springs, Florida at the Adams General Store, which is a fine antique mall.
Yeah, well, the easiest place is to go to www.southerngourmetspice.com.
Yeah,
Click on that buy now. And we got more spices coming up in a couple of months, but for right now you can get this and that right there. All right? We'll see you at the table.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's nice, right?
Yeah, pretty
Right
good.
there. Now show us where the smoke ring is so we can tell people where it's
the
at.
edge right here. With the electric smoker, it doesn't get as far down in. You don't see the smoke ring as much.
Okay, I'm in tight on this right now.
You're gonna taste it.
Okay, so it's about 1/8 of an inch in
Eighth of an
around
inch
it. You know?
You gotta make sure Jay doesn't grab too much on one time.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I got it.
it's only 2.5 pounds, right? So it was rolled in, and there's no fat in it, so you're not going to get juicy stuff that you get from a pork ribs
But
or
it's
any.
pretty juicy and
It pulls apart pretty easily.
it pulls apart really.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, if you're health conscious, this is pretty good, right?
Perfect because you're not dealing with all the fat.
But it was
Pork the other way.
cooked in Don Q rum, so it should be pretty good. I'm gonna have a little shot of rum just before to give my mouth the flavor of it. Yeah, just for the heck of it. Oh, that piece looks perfect right there. So that's the thickest part right there, and it looks very tender.
Yep.
Yeah, very tender. And definitely not overcooked. So 4.5 hours was just about right for 2.5 pounds. So what's your What's the formula, Kenny, for time versus
It's about an hour a pound. Also depending, like I said, the thickness of the meat. That's why it takes longer for this one.
If it had been a thinner piece, it would have been less time.
I personally use a thermometer every time with every meat that I cook, unless it's beef and I'm going for like a medium rare or medium. If it's something that needs to be done, poultry, pork, I swear by a thermometer. I do not like to serve.
Right, and so what temperature are you looking for?
On pork, 165 is considered medium, but it's a great temperature. It keeps it nice and juicy. The flavor's still locked in there. And you don't have
It
to
looks
worry
good. So
about
we can see the juices on the plate. Looks good.
Oh, yeah.
That's perfect for a piece of meat that has virtually no fat on it. I mean, it's very, very, very lean. I mean, it's not marbled with fat. I'm gonna try a bite of that. See how that looks? Oh, right on, right? I'll take a piece of that. Oh, the smoke.
That's perfect.
Oh, I can taste the rum. I can taste the applewood. That was applewood, right? I can taste the apple on it. And that's not apple rum, so I'm tasting it from the chips.
Definitely from the chips. My wife said it's a spice rum. I don't drink rum, but she said she tried it. She said it's got kind of a little bit of a spice to it. So that's also giving it that sweet.
Oh, you can taste it right in there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that is. There's nothing like smoked. So where do we get all this stuff from? Where do we get all these ideas? You can watch this video right now on southerngourmetspice.com.
We're gonna be ramping up our Facebook page here pretty soon, and we're gonna redo our website. We're gonna start posting more videos. We're gonna start doing more recipes. We'll have a Pinterest page soon. And you can follow us on Facebook. We're starting to post more on Facebook, letting you know where we're going to be, some of the recipes that we've created. I've got recipes from my grandmother and my mother that I'll even be putting.
Where can we find all these?
At southerngourmetspice.com.
Right, that's awesome, man. Check out that, man. So we're going to be back in a minute after I have a little shot of rum to get my palate warmed up for this. But I had a taste of that, man.
It's amazing.
That was some heavenly pork. Let me tell you something. If you're a vegan, I apologize. But if you're one of us,
sorry about
hey man, this is the way to go. You know, yeah, man. All right, we'll be right back.
Okay, what we have here is the pork tenderloin that we
Can we see that?
we injected with the Don Q Puerto Rican rum and rubbed down with the Kenny Bears barbecue rub and seasoning.
Right.
Then we have the applewood smoked asparagus that we did in the smoker also.
Right.
And then we have these wonderful potatoes au gratin that my wife made.
Okay. So, where can we see the video? Where can we see the recipes? Where can we buy the spice?
southerngourmetspice.com.
Awesome. All right, we're gonna enjoy this, man. These vultures are gonna eat, drink, and be merry.
Hey, listen, I want to talk about Kenny Bear's barbecue rub for a second from southerngourmetspice.com. Listen, you guys know I'm a fat bastard, right? And, you know, I like this stuff. I tried it on obviously barbecue and some pizza and stuff like that. But I did a Kenny Bear's barbecue rub test over the last 3 days, and this is what I found. The first day I got a pretty good steak. It was a good quality steak, and I cooked it with this Kenny Bear stuff on it, right? And I loved it. It tasted great, of course, right? The Kenny Bears had this flavor, blah, blah, blah. The next day on the grill, I cooked up some chicken cutlets, right? And I put the Kenny Bears barbecue rub on there, and I swear to God, it took on a different flavor with the chicken, right? So with the steak, it tasted one way, and with the chicken, it tasted another, right? And same stuff, right out of the bottle, right? Then yesterday, I had a Billy C burger, right? A Billy C burger on the grill. So I said, you know, what's better than a Kenny? Let me try Kenny Bear's barbecue rub on a burger, right? I thought it was going to taste sort of like the steak. It took on even a third different flavor. It was great, man. I covered it with some provolone cheese. It's great stuff. Hey, Kenny Bear's barbecue rub, check it out. You can get all the information by visiting www.southerngourmetspice.com.
Tell me, Kenny, how is it you rub my belly so fine with that secret rub of yours? And don't even tell me what you're gonna do next. I love you, Kenny Bear. Tell me, Kenny baby, what you gonna do next?
Kenny Bear's Old Florida Barbecue Rub and Seasoning. Grab a bottle today.